my god! Oh my god!
And that's why you don't gamble away your life savings. Instead, gamble away your life directly and get absolutely shafted with Chance.
No.
Let's go gambling!
Chance is a child to two very rich parents and was born ambidextrous, which his parents considered it as a sign that their child would be very capable of inheriting their wealth. Instead, Chance became an adrenaline junkie like all the rich kids with too much time on their hands. I'm talking about you, Octavio Silva, and would constantly get himself into dangerous situations so he can feel that adrenaline surging through his veins. As soon as he was of legal age, he started gambling at his parents' casino and, of course, made some terrible friends. I'm not going to go into detail about iTraft considering their lore is about to get changed anyways, so if this is outdated, you'll know why. But all you need to know is that iTraft stole something that turned him evil. So of course, like all terrible friends, he wasn't really Chance's friend, and was only with him because iTraft wanted his parents' money. Eventually though, iTraft got annoyed and impatient at Chance's yapping, making no progress towards his early retirement, so he got Chance to play some Russian roulette to get rid of him, the first chance he got. See what I did there? However, the Mosquito managed to always win with his luck, and with no chance of losing. Okay, I'll stop. iTraft decided to get his hands dirty and deal with Chance himself. But now that you know who he is, let's learn how to play him, shall we?
Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it!
Chance's first ability is called Chance's Favor. Wait, what? They should just rename it to Coin Flip at this point. Anyways, like the name Coin Flip implies, you flip a coin. Heads you win and get a charge for all your abilities, tails you lose and get a stack of weakness for 15 seconds. The weakness will continue to keep increasing until you do a Hatfix, which I'll talk about later. Since you have to do a coin flip to use any part of Chance's kit, you're gonna end up getting that weakness at some point. That's why the best time to get your setup done is early game, and if you get unlucky, you might want to camp out in an isolated spot so you don't get one-tapped in the crossfire until you're able to re-roll the stats that you need. However, once you play more and more and get better at the game, don't be afraid to take risks and coin flip near chase if the situation calls for it in order to provide help to your teammates faster. Also, if you're low on health, then you might as well start coin flipping even if you're being chased because you'll be one shot regardless.
Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it!
Chance's second ability is called One Shot, and look, they actually named it well this time. You get one shot out of a pistol, or flintlock I should say, with a windup of 1 second to shoot the killer one time. If you hit your shot, the killer will be stunned for around 1 to 4 seconds depending on the distance you shoot them from. The closer you are, the longer they will be stunned. However, this is Chance we're talking about, so of course there's going to be a gambling aspect to this ability too. Unlike canonical Chance, you don't have plot armor, and the gun's not always gonna fire, just like in any other horror game or movie. Remember how I said landing heads on a coin flip gives you one charge for both your abilities? Well, on the first charge, you have a 50% firing your gun, 25% of the gun jamming and not firing, and a 25% chance of the gun exploding in your face and you take 45 damage. On your second charge, or 2 coin flip wins, you'll get a 70% chance of firing, and only a 15% chance of the other 2 possibilities. This goes down to 5% on a third charge, give you a 90% chance of firing when you have the max charges, which is 3. You don't have to remember all of that though, just try to always get your charges to 3 before taking a shot of the gun to minimize the chances of it jamming or exploding, or at least get to 2 charges if you're really desperate and need to take that shot immediately. Also, if you don't already know, don't just shoot in third person mode. What are you doing? That is so inaccurate. You're shooting just like my friend Chris, and the only thing you gotta hit is his dad. Failure. Instead, go into first person or shift lock so you can actually see where you're aiming. I personally think that shift lock is sufficient and you don't really need first person, but it is still an option. Now then, there's a few ways to line up your shots so they'll actually land. For all of these shots, you generally want to be at mid-range so you're far enough to not be a target, but close enough to hit accurately. I know y'all love to be sniper status over there, but your stuns last longer the closer you are to the killer, so you might as well step up. Now the first way to ensure that your shot lands is when the killer is chasing one of your teammates and you're following them close by. In this case, make sure you're out of the killer's range in case you miss your shot and wait until your teammate makes a predictable move before shooting. Otherwise, if you miss, they're just gonna tap you on their way to continue chasing the teammate you failed to defend. This preferably means they're running straight, not trying to juke, and the killer is following behind them and not paying attention to you. If you're running sideways, aim a second ahead of the killer. If you're unsure how far that is, you can start by pointing your cursor at your teammate, counting how long it takes for the killer to pass through your crosshair, and then just position your crosshair back onto your teammate, count down, and shoot 1 second before the killer is anticipated to show up. Learn that distance and make sure that during the wind-up time, they haven't changed directions or ran out of sprint. The second way is to position yourself so your teammate will run towards you and you can shoot right through them and hit the killer. Make sure the killer isn't paying attention to you though, as your shots are pretty easy to dodge if they see it coming. The third way is similar to the second and applies if the killer is chasing you. Try running in an area that forces the killer to take a predictable path before getting shot. You can also try to take cover and hide behind a wall, trying to predict when the killer will turn the corner so you can land the shot right as they come into view, but this is a lot more risky as if the killer hesitates at all or your prediction is off, you definitely will miss your shot. Keep in mind that your shot will not go through walls or even half walls, even if the hitbox looks like it does. If you miss your shot, you will be heavily punished as you get slowed a ton once the shot fires. Chance has some of the most powerful but also the most punishable stuns because of this. With Chance, try and take advantage of your ability to stun at a range and take shots when you have a safe distance to do so in order to bypass this downside. Then make sure the slowness wears off before holding sprint again, otherwise you won't actually start sprinting and that might screw you up.
Can't stop winning. I can't stop winning.
Chance's third ability is reroll, and this is where you start gambling with your life. At the start of the game, your HP will be randomly selected from 70 to 90. This is pretty low, which is where rerolling comes in, allowing you to RNG your HP again from 60 to 120. You can get a little higher than that by getting a bit more stacks, but it's honestly useless, so don't even bother. Instead, typically at the start of the game, reroll your HP until it's above 100, and that's all that you need. Keep in mind that if you reroll after taking damage, it only keeps your total HP proportional, it doesn't actually heal you.
Let's be financially responsible.
Chance's last ability is Hatfix, which simply resets all weakness stats back to 0. If your gun blows up, you will also have to use Hatfix first in order to repair your gun. It requires you to have 3 stacks of your other abilities in order to be used, and usually you don't have to worry about this unless you have above weakness 10, as that's when your gun explosions become fatal at any HP.
I can't stop winning.
After getting absolutely shafted by coin flips, I made it my life's goal to get payback. And now, after never losing a coin flip again, I have to be the best Chance player in the whole game, right? So here are some pro tips. Number 1, coin flip and go for a reroll on first charge immediately as the round begins to try and get yourself over 100 health. It's kind of pointless doing it later on, so just get it out of the way at the start and never touch the ability again. If you get really unlucky, then just settle for anything close enough like above a 90. Number 2, play passive without your one shot, but be aggressive when you do get the 3 stacks needed. Chance is a sentinel after all, so don't be afraid to help out your teammates. This also means that knowing where the killer spawns and tracking the killer's location becomes even more important as Chance, because not only will running with weakness 15 right into the killer as they spawn instantly deep fry you,
If they spawn next to you.
Dang it.
Yeah.
you also want to help your teammates as soon as possible once you do get your abilities. Number 3, if the killer is really skilled and you're being chased, you might have to reserve to doing a 180 trick shot. As you're running away, slow down to a walk as if you ran out of stamina and start to wind up for your shot. Then, right before it fires, enter shift lock when your crosshair is pointing towards the killer. This will spin you around immediately and lock onto your cursor, which can then catch the killer off guard and give them a lot less time to react. If you're just barely missing, you're shift locking too late, so try timing it earlier next time. Otherwise, they will see your shot coming and easily dodge it or utilize a stun resistant ability like Jason's Raging Pace. Number 4, if you're on high weakness and the killer starts to chase you, you might have to Hatfix on spot and give up the charges on your gun. You're more likely to survive if you reset your stats compared to taking the shot with the gun, because in case the gun explodes or the killer just gets a lucky shot on you, you will be instantly dead on high weakness. Meanwhile, it's a lot less risky and more reliable to just Hatfix so you get more time and leeway to loop. You can also choose to Hatfix if the killer is just nowhere to be found and your teammates are safe, your gun is on cooldown, or you're just starting to pass 10 to 15 stacks of weakness just for the sake of precaution. Again, one explosion at these heights and you're done for. The explosion will also one-shot you if you're below 90 HP and have weakness 5, and any hits from a killer here will also put you in a critical state. Number 5, you can hit multiple enemies with one shot, which means for a killer like Cool Kid, you can take out both its clones and hit him as well if you're skilled enough. You can also shoot through your teammates to get a hit off, but again, you cannot shoot through a wall. Chance is an exceptional sentinel and is super powerful, being able to deliver stuns from a safe distance. Being a sentinel, of course, you'll benefit the most when you have a good team. However, even in solo situations like last man standing, or if your teammates are practically non-existent with how little work they do, I think Chance is still viable. In my opinion, the worse your team, the more passive you should play. Being able to stun from a distance as the killer is approaching makes losing them so much easier, but at the same time, if you have bad luck flipping coins, you might just end up getting one tapped by Jason's mad rigged hitbox. What is this? But what do you think? Is Chance too good and needs nerfs, too bad and needs buffs, or do you think he's balanced as he is? Let me know in the comments below. I also have a channel Discord linked in the description if you want to hop on and discuss some of your tips and ideas for Chance or any other survivor in case I make a video for them too in the future. If you learned something new or just enjoyed the video, please leave a like and quickly tap that subscribe button as well. It helps me out tremendously and I'm really grateful for all your support so far. And with that, I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye!